From San Antonio, Texas to Memphis, Tennessee. From Pooler, Georgia to West Jefferson, Ohio. Let's ride. We want to ride shotgun with you for the next hour, Talkin Truckin with Deaton and Doty. Welcome to episode 50.
Yo.
I got 50 on it.
Somebody else is turning 50, aren't they?
I don't know who. Joel?
50,
no, he's already 50.
Already 50. I'll turn 50 again.
That one OJ.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, everybody. It's been a fun ride, and let's keep it going.
See you later.
A year later, here we go. I sent that picture that Kumar put up on the Talkin Truckin Facebook page because Tina sent it to me today, and that was the birthplace of Talkin Truckin there at the Destin Metal Arc Summit. That was also the picture on the wall of Christian and I, and it all happened at that place, so that was pretty cool.
The bet.
Yeah. And then Kumar said that it looked like a hair metal band and two of the band of Jimmy Buffett or something like that. It was funny.
Jimmy Buffett's band and a hair metal band.
Yeah.
Coral Reefer Band.
Today on the show, Ian Dunlap on the news, Zach Kern, our producer, in the house, Joel on sports, Christian Sneed in Roanoke, Virginia, as you see on screen, and Mike Doty, the original Florida man. We've got Kevin, Nate, Ray, and Jim Mackey. Guys, where are you at? Ray?
I'm in West Jeff, Ohio. So
I threw that in the intro because of that. And also, Kevin, Nate, where are you guys at?
I'm in Livonia, Georgia.
I'm in Moni, Illinois.
Moni. And Mr. Mackey?
I am coming up to Hagerstown, Maryland.
You know, Big Booger Holler? So, in honor of episode 50, Mike, I've got 50 people on the show tonight.
50
Shades of Grey.
It's grown by one every episode.
And also, as always on tonight's show, the always present and famous Kumar.
Thought you forgot about me.
No, I didn't. I saved it best for last.
Worst for last.
So, yeah, tonight on the show, I called Christian today. I let Mike know I got a pretty interesting topic that I wanted to talk about, and I also wanted to go over one driver that I booked last week into this week, Ray, and what we did. I've had some people say, it's cheap. What are you doing? Well, this is what Ray and I did, so we'll go into that a little later. Is Ian ready?
Let's do something else.
Okay, let's go to Joel. What's up, man?
Hey, I'm here.
Fill us in with the sports.
Wow, just like that.
Yeah, right into it. Yeah.
All right.
We know you were a little salty about the halfway through the sports and Louis had to go last week.
Cut off. All right, you want to run it?
Yeah.
In a few minutes. All right, let's talk it.
Let's do it.
Do a little sports here at the end of March. What's up, everybody? In honor of WWE's WrestleMania 38, thought we'd talk a little bit of wrestling this week. Down in Dallas, we have the matches. But first, let's talk a little sports. Let's go around the leagues. Let's talk the NBA playoffs begin on March the 16th. No big changes, same powerhouses. You got your Chicagos, your Miamis, your Philadelphias, and your Milwaukees in the East. And over in the West, you got your Golden States, your Memphis, your Utahs, and your Phoenix. Phoenix is going to win, by the way. And, yeah, a couple more weeks, and we'll be in the playoffs there. A little longer in the NHL. Playoffs begin May the 2nd.
Who's that behind you, Joel?
Who's that behind me? That's Batman.
The other guy.
Oh, I heard something happen the other night. But, yeah, NHL, plenty of slaps there. Over in Major League Baseball, start date, April the 7th. We got the first two series eliminated. So normally 162 game season. We're now at 155, and that will begin next week. And then we have the USFL, United States Football League, in their debut. Well, they were back in the 80s, but in this millennium, it's their debut, and that will be April the 16th. That's 8 teams, United States Football League. Over in men's basketball, we have the Final Four this weekend. We have Villanova and Kansas. Kansas at a -4.5, And the Battle of North Carolina with the Tar Heels and the Duke Blue Devils talking trash in their state this week.
Did you guys watch any of you guys watch the St. Peter's and Duke?
You were stoked on that team.
I was, man.
The next game they got annihilated.
I was texting people all weekend, and I was even on Amazon looking for St. Peter's Peacocks hoodies, and I was going to buy some if they won on Sunday. But that was a fun ride, right, Joel? You watched it, didn't you?
Yeah, I think everyone on North Carolina is like a foot taller than those guys.
Yeah.
But they had a pretty good run. I mean, Elite Eight, that's pretty good.
That's the first time it's ever happened from a school in their division.
Yep.
To make the Elite Eight, yeah.
And so we have North Carolina and Duke playing. Duke is a 4-point favorite, and all that wraps up this weekend. The championship game is Monday night.
It's going to be good.
Over in NASCAR on the 3rd this Sunday over in Richmond, Virginia. A little NASCAR action. And that is the normal sports. Now, this weekend down in Dallas, we do have WWE's WrestleMania 38, and that is a 2-night event. On night 1 lineup, first match we have Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair in the Women's Raw Championship match. Match 2, Rey Mysterio and son Dominic against The Miz and Logan Paul. There's Zach's favorite. Match number 3.
Logan Paul.
The Scottish psychopath Drew McIntyre takes on.
I thought he was going to say the Scottish Hammer, the kicker that was with Cleveland.
No, he's the following night.
Yeah.
The Drew McIntyre and Happy Corbin. He's with Madcap Moss. And match number 4, we have the Usos, Jimmy and Jay Uso versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boggs in the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. 5th match, we have the New Day, King Woods and Kofi Kingston versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland with Butch. In our 6th match, we have Seth freaking Rollins against
Is that his name?
That's his name.
Oh.
Against a mystery opponent of Mr. McMahon's choosing.
Will Smith.
It could be.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And the final match that night, Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey in the SmackDown Women's Championship.
She's still in the WWE?
She came back.
I was going to say.
On the next night, match 1.
She had a baby, by the way.
Is a fatal 4-way. That was Becky Lynch. She had a fatal
in the ring
4-way
in the ring
Women's Championship. Queen Zelina and Carmella versus Sasha Banks and Naomi versus Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan versus Natalya and Shayna Baszler. In this next match, anything goes. It is Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville. Yes, that Johnny Knoxville. And in
he's wrestling.
Okay, he's doing a bit. In the 3rd match, former Indianapolis Colts Pat McAfee takes on Austin Theory. In our 4th match, we have a triple threat tag team match for the Raw Championship tag team. We have the teams of RK Bro, Randy Orton and Riddle versus the All right, where I left off was
Will Smith and Chris Rock.
Will Smith,
right?
Chris
Well,
Rock.
wait, what was the last thing everybody heard?
All right, we were talking about the triple threat tag team match for the Raw Tag Team
Somebody had a
Championship.
baby in the ring.
There we go.
Yeah, that's
And
what
it
Run
is the teams of RK Bro, Randy Orton and Riddle versus the Street Profits. That's PROFITS. Angelo Dawkins and Martez Ford versus the Alpha Academy. Chad Gable and Otis. Match number 5. We have Superstar Edge versus the phenomenal AJ Styles.
Edge is still around.
Match number 6. We have, what's he call himself? Anyway, Bobby Lashley versus Omos. That's OMOS, and he is almost 7'3", 480 pounds. Bobby Lashley versus Omos. And in our final main event match, we have the reigning, undisputed heavyweight championship of the world, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, and then winner take all. And there is your WrestleMania.
Joel, can you do that Are You Ready to Rumble thing they do at the beginning?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
There we go. I love that version.
Thank you, Mr. Buffer.
No,
Wow.
that was
So this is WrestleMania that you're talking about, right? Because I'm not a wrestling fan.
Yeah,
so-
well,
Okay.
38
WrestleMania.
years, and they're still
Yeah.
around. No. Yes,
Wow.
indeed. Look how many people pack out Dallas Stadium Sunday and Saturday.
Kumar, are you excited?
He's bought the pay-per-views.
Yeah, sure. I'm excited. I don't watch.
You watch MMA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
What's
don't watch
going
that
on in
fake
the
stuff.
wide world of MMA?
We went there
Anything?
last week, Russ.
Yeah, we actually
Wow.
went to one.
Oh, you guys did. That's
Oh
right.
yeah. We
Joel
did.
sent me a picture of all you guys. I didn't know where you were. I thought it was a Celine Dion
It was a
concert,
strip
to be
mall.
honest with you.
We watched
Chris
someone
Rock
get put into a wheelchair, so that was interesting.
against a wall.
Yeah, and it was the guy I came to see because.
Well, the guy who fought him.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, the guy who fought him got put in a wheelchair. But, yeah, I went to see – I got the tickets from my mom, one of her work proximity associates. Her son is in it, so we got free tickets, and we got to go and check it out, and he won pretty amazingly. Slammed him right on his back and knocked him out cold with a slam.
Oh, that was on his head, down his back.
Or his – well, I mean, it was his head and
He
his
got
back.
wrecked. That's all that matters.
He got knocked out.
Yeah. I heard that when that happened.
But yeah, other than that, I mean, I guess MMA news. Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal are having a major beef. They just fought like a month ago, I want to say, and Colby Covington beat the crap out of him for 5 rounds, and so then Masvidal decided to sucker punch him outside of a restaurant. I think last week.
The old Will Smith.
Yeah, the old Will Smith. But he didn't have a warning like Chris Rock did. Chris Rock had 20 seconds to prepare for that. But yeah, so Colby Covington, as per his character, he is pressing charges on Masvidal.
As per his character, you mean he got assaulted and now all of a sudden that's
Right.
Unlike Rock.
I get he's a little prima donna. I get it.
But the thing is, like most MMA people, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm not pressing charges," but Colby Covington, and he's my favorite fighter, but like his character is like the whole like very rich boy kind
My
of.
father will sue.
He had the whole Trump 2020 thing for a while, but like I think this is like
So did Masvidal. by the way.
Good thing Will Smith didn't smack him.
right, yeah, that would have been real bad too.
And he
Wait,
lost
who did Will
did he lose a
Smith
tooth? Is that what I read? That he lost a tooth?
Yeah, he chipped a
was
tooth,
Joel.
and he had like a $97,000 Rolex on that got scraped or something. So
Oh, poor baby.
he's suing for that too.
Maybe don't put $90,000 on your wrist. Jeez.
I would if I
During
could.
a match.
That's half a Tesla.
All right.
So yeah,
well,
that's it.
over in golf news, trucker fans, the Masters are coming up, and I heard that the rumor is that maybe Tiger might be playing this year in the Masters.
Really?
I don't know.
Really?
I read that on Bleacher Report today. It might be fake news. I don't know, but
He's
got my
hanging
attention.
out with his girlfriends doing
I was
drugs.
gonna
Let him be.
ask how much how he's doing since his accident, or
I've
if
been reading a
anybody's
little
heard
bit
anything.
about it. I mean, he's been. It's a rough road he's been down. He had to learn to walk
Yeah.
again and all that.
Yeah, crazy.
I'm a Tiger fan. I like Tiger, so I like and I like golf. So hopefully we see him on the Masters or somewhere out there soon.
If he doesn't flip his car first.
Yeah.
Yikes. Zoinks.
Ian. So
I might slap you.
Ian, what do we
got
got
a
going on in
flamethrower there.
trucking news?
Oh,
we missed a
alrighty.
few weeks of
Oh, do I have this?
Wait,
stuff.
how do I share my... Oh.
Is that still a segment, Russ?
Yeah. We missed a few weeks.
I
We've had
missed
some
it too.
guests.
It's one of my favorite parts of the show. 3 weeks.
Alrighty. Here we go. After a whole lot of annoying the metro area of D.C., the trucker convoy is getting kicked out of their spot. They've been staying at the Hagerstown Speedway up the road there from D.C. a little bit, but they have a race coming by, and they are being told they gotta leave. Now, they're trying to figure out where.
They've already. You didn't see my article? They're going to California.
Cali, baby.
I was getting there.
Sorry.
Well,
Jesus.
that guy in the photo won't get there because he's not carb compliant. So.
Oh no! His
gonna
cab
stop
over
in
is gonna have to go stop in
Kansas.
Nevada.
Hey, Christian, can you back away from the mic a little bit?
Anything you say, sir.
Cut that out.
So they are leaving. Yeah, they're gonna head west. But they're trying to figure out another lot to go to before then. They can't agree, I guess, on
So did
where to
they?
go.
Did they do what they were set out to
Can you
do?
go any
No,
further?
nothing has changed.
Okay.
All right, over in Iowa, some of you guys
Love
might have
this.
seen
I
this one.
love this.
Hey, Cody.
So, yeah, they found this guy. He was going 30 miles an hour in a 65, and they're like, well, let's pull this guy in. And they discover all of this.
So is that what I think it is?
Yes.
I feel like somebody photoshopped that.
It looks like
No, that's real. That's real. They're saying it appears the brake locked up on the axle, blah, 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 blah. And, yeah, that turned into that.
Turned
So-
into a dragon wagon.
I've never seen anything quite like that. That's
did that not
impressive
catch on
neglect
fire?
right
It
there.
looks like when you take
Wow.
a bite out of Hubba Bubba.
Well, what's even
bubble
more
tape.
impressive is the bead didn't break around the rim.
yeah, it's
Right.
it's
Yeah.
crazy.
How did that?
How is it not? It looks like
Those
it
are flat
still has air in it from that
Right.
side picture.
Well, those are very firm too, so they could stand up and look like that.
And yeah, it's also empty too. So
Yeah, but still didn't break that bead though. That's
yeah,
pretty impressive.
it's impressive.
You can see it on the bottom tire though; it is squishing out.
You make a sharp turn and twist those tires, it'll break
yeah,
the bead. This
Even with
guy's
zero
rolling.
pressure in there, yeah, it's still
Just
impressive.
need to add some air to that.
So where
Just
was
patch it up, make it a
that-
retread.
where'd that happen at?
Iowa.
Iowa.
Yeah.
Laredo.
Well, it's almost brake check week too.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Sneak over the border.
They forced him to go over and get it fixed. So,
Why would they do that?
all right, here we go. I'm stressing out about this one. Wisconsin decided it was a good idea to spend $27 million on 2 weigh stations to
Can you
upgrade
back
them.
up from your microphone a little bit?
Thank you, Ian.
I just want to stress that the 27 million, add in the Dr. Evil dollars. So
What you're saying is we need to not go to Wisconsin then, huh?
Well, they're gonna.
all I gotta
we're
say
be paying
is
for that for these waste
Yeah, they're gonna be
station
paying
upgrades.
for it
Yeah,
somehow.
definitely they're going to be on a fundraising campaign.
Right.
Yeah.
the only thing I really have to say is Wisconsin has a weight problem, but it's not in the trailer, so they should be focusing on that. All right. Sticking
to
with
eat.
Johnny Law here, over in Connecticut, state troopers are starting to use drones to figure out who is skipping way stations, who they should pull in. So keep your eye on the sky. You're not going to see them because they're high and tiny.
Where's this at?
Connecticut.
Oh,
Out in Connecticut, they are using drones now. They got a whole team for it, and they're out there trying
That's
to get
money
you
well
guys.
spent.
So
More
what
money
you're
well
saying
spent.
is we should stay away from Connecticut?
Stay away from Connecticut, Wisconsin. There we
You
go.
should find a different job.
We're gonna start shooting at trucks pretty soon.
All right. I was gonna bring this up a few weeks ago while we were doing some fuel stuff, but we'll go do this real quick. What state do you guys think this past week had the highest average fuel prices?
California.
Ohio.
Illinois.
Maryland.
Oh.
Maryland, followed by, which is at $4.72, followed by Missouri, Oklahoma, Kansas.
So that might have been.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm on the opposite end. This is the lowest.
Oh.
Yeah, I was going to
Lowest.
say, where's
Whoopsie.
West Virginia and New
Whoopsie,
Jersey?
I pressed the wrong button here. So yeah, that is the
So-
lowest. Highest
Don't
is
push any
California,
I was right.
Hawaii.
Christian
Washington,
has to pay
Oregon.
the St. Christopher Fund
St. Christian Fund.
this week.
Are you
'cause-
sick, Russ? Sounds like
Dear God.
Yeah, and then on the opposite end,
Don't stoke Ian. He's already on my case.
Maryland, Missouri, Oklahoma, Kansas, where you can find some of the cheapest fuel in the country.
So what was the price in California, Ian?
Highest
6.12.
average, and this is average, $6.44. So some people are paying a little bit less.
We've
some
been
people are
avoiding
paying
the
more.
West Coast for the most part. I
It's-
mean, Northeast isn't bad, or Northwest. I mean,
It's
isn't
still
bad.
not fantastic, but yeah. All right. This is also one that I've had for a while. FMCSA eliminates rules requiring truck drivers to submit list of traffic violations to employers. I think this is something that will affect us, because we've had a few guys that have been shot down because of things. So, but if they don't have to provide it, that's going to be a little bit different.
Wait a minute.
for
Let's
recruiting.
understand this. Okay. So the FMCSA is eliminating a rule requiring truck drivers to submit list of traffic violations to employers. So in other words, if you don't list it and we don't catch it, it's okay. Is what that's saying, right?
That's what I'm getting from it, yeah.
But with the clearinghouse, with your DAC report, and with everything, the PSP, if you get a traffic violation, it's going to be on there.
Yeah. Most
PSP
of it will
and
come from
MVR
there.
should have it shown.
They're basically just saying they're not making the drivers dig all of that up to provide it themselves. So
Don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah, it's really just gonna.
The drones are gonna tell on you.
The drone will find that information out.
Before you get off the news, Ian, I'm really curious. We haven't done this in a while, but can you just show us a glimpse of what's going on in the ports in the West Coast?
Because I can try. Yeah, I can.
China has been locked down for another COVID outbreak for about 2.5 weeks, I think.
I really haven't seen too much about it, just because everything was trying to come in, before Christmas, and that was the real push.
Warehouses are full.
Yeah, and there's just not as much coming in now. There's not as much being ordered. So, but yeah. All right, and then last thing that I have, this was another FMCSA thing. Blah 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 blah. Here we go. All right, yes. Go ahead and yawn, Joel.
John.
All right, agency modifies.
Back away from the mic.
You gotta put that in.
Increase the 100 millimeter 4 inches to 8.5 inches. The distance below the upper edge of the area swept by windshield wipers, where you can add devices up there like the camera, or I'm guessing GPS as well. They've added a little bit of distance from the top of where your windshield starts swiping, where you can have things up there.
So hanging from the inside.
Yep, at the very, very top. I know quite a few guys that have gotten, trouble for having their GPSs on the windshield, whatnot. They have now made it so you can have it closer, or you can have it a little bit further down from the top. So
yeah, I actually
specify how far down, or
yes, 8.5 inches, the distance below the upper edge of the area swept by the windshield wipers.
Oh,
okay. I got a long time ago. I didn't get in trouble or anything. I didn't get a ticket, but I was inspected and I passed the inspection. And the DOT officer, when they looked at my logs, it was e-logs, so they just stood on the steps and told me to go to which page on my log, and I showed it to him. And then he kind of lectured me about my GPS was a small Garmin, I think, at the time, and I had it in the left bottom corner of the windshield. Sitting at the driver.
Yeah.
And he told me it was restricting my view.
Right.
And my argument was, on that truck, I didn't have a hood-mounted mirror, so it didn't restrict my view of any. I didn't restrict my view, but I moved it. I never put it there.
They got to be able to afford those $26 million.
He didn't give me a ticket. He was nice about it, though. He just told me to move it.
I just went through an inspection in January in California, Grapevine. And I've got my phones on my dash on the bottom part. They stick up about 5 inches.
Yeah.
And still my hood is, I can barely see my hood over the top of them. And they gave me a warning on it. They still gave me my sticker and everything. I passed my inspection, but that was the only thing they had to say.
Kind of the same thing, Jim? Like it was obstructing your view?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they said. I said, well, I sit so high in the chair. I look right over the top of them.
Yeah.
So did they give you a warning, or was it clean? Did they give you a warning?
They gave me a warning, a written warning, but I got a clean inspection.
So, and I think that's probably something to clarify for FMCSA purposes while we're here too.
That's points, isn't it?
It is points every time. Yeah. So, and you're stuck in purgatory because you have no due process. They've taken away your ability to go to court to fight it. We had a driver cited for 1 over the speed limit. I'm not kidding you. This happened 3 weeks ago. So I got on the phone with the officer. I said, "Hey, I appreciate you doing your job. Stay safe out on the road. Back the blue." Then I'm like, "Write my guy a ticket."
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, I can't." I said, "Why not?" He goes, "Well, because when I got him, he was actually doing 9 over." I said, "Good, write him a 9 mile an over ticket then." He's like, "No, I'm just going to give him 1 to get him off easy." I said, "You're not getting anybody off easy. Those points follow him and they follow me." So similar, Jim. They tell you it's a clean inspection. I say, "Well, I only gave you a written warning." If they have anything on a piece of paper, that does affect your PSP. It does not affect your MVR. Mostly. So, but it's on your PSP, both the company record as well as yours.
But
they make you feel so good about it.
But the thing I got to say about this is that my truck had nothing else wrong with it. I
He would-
just felt
you
that
would
they
have
had
been-
to write something down that I went through an inspection. I had something wrong.
Yeah, you would have been better served if you would have said, "Sir, why don't you write me a ticket for that?" And then you could have fought the ticket and got it removed, and you wouldn't have had any points.
Well, you
I
would have had
understand
the
where-
ticket. If you fight it now, even Russ, they don't guarantee a ticket revoked. It used to be if you beat it in court, it would come
Mhm.
off but your data queue now, it doesn't necessarily automatically remove it. It still has to go through that process and that
Really?
chain. But you're
Oh.
right. A majority of the time, they will honor what the court says and remove it, but it's not automatic.
That's outrageous.
That's a really good point,
Yeah.
though, you brought up, Christian, because I've heard that in the past, too, about getting a written warning on something and versus just have them write you a ticket.
Oh, yeah.
like-
and
like-
it stays.
yeah.
And I hate it because they make you feel so good about it. Like, hey, driver, you did an excellent job on your pre-trip. You only had one
Yeah.
tire that was low on air. You're free to go. And here's just a small, here's a written warning, But, hey, there's no violations. Just to find out, no, that is a violation listed. If it doesn't say no violations, there's a violation.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I got a sticker.
By the way, still good job getting a clean inspection other than that. I think that's a little
Especially
Chicken
in
poop.
California.
Yep.
Yeah.
What
Yeah, I
happened
was
with
told
your
I sit too
driver
low in my
before
seat.
we get onto the port real quick, Ian? What happened to the driver with the 1 mile over?
Yeah.
No, he just gave us. He didn't. He would not write us a citation, and he's got it. So he's got it's on our FMCSA score.
Wow.
Yeah.
What state was
Yeah.
that? Just curious. Wisconsin.
I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up while we're on. I'll let
So,
you
yeah,
know.
we're
here in a
not we're not going to that state either.
We're not going to that state. All
minute.
right.
They
so-
also have expensive way stations.
Whatever state that is, so we're not going there either.
That's right. Thanks.
I was told that I sit too low in my seat that the dashboard is obstructing my my
You read
my
like Cheech and
visibility.
Chong.
Yeah, yeah. Lee's gonna love that one. He sat in my seat yesterday, and he's all like, "Man, how can you see over this dashboard?"
Oh man. All right, well, on to the ports. I mean, not too crazy. It's definitely not like we saw it in the third quarter. Still tiny bit busy, but we don't have this mass of ships just waiting out
Is
here.
that where is that? Long Beach, right there.
Yeah, Los
Okay.
Angeles. Yes, yeah. Other than that, I mean, just pretty normal traffic. I'd like to see what China looks like.
Yeah, because they've been on lockdown most of the country, I think, in ports and all that for 2 weeks.
It's looking pretty congested, but not as bad as like third quarter
Yeah.
last year. So, yeah, I don't think we're gonna see the craziness again until early summer and on into the next holiday season.
Yeah.
So that's all I got about the ports for now. So
All right. Well, Ian, thank you
Absolutely.
for catching us up on the news. Haven't been able to do that for a while. We're going to do questions with Kumar. So how do we figure it out this week? Who has to pay the St. Christopher's? Did we just pick Christian because...
Sorry, I ate my mic again. Sorry. Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
in.
know.
I'm in. I got Kumar. Let's
You got
go.
Kumar?
Yep,
Okay.
let's go.
Then, since, Doty, you want the guys?
Yeah, I'll take him.
He's got the guys, so I got off the hook this week. How do you like that? All right, so drivers, are you ready?
Ready.
Joel, you got the questions?
No, I thought you did.
Let's go.
No. Question 1.
Trucking questions with Kumar.
How many primary types of suspensions are on a semi-trailer? A1, B2, C3, D4.
Kumar, you want him to repeat the question?
I heard it.
Thank you.
2.
He says 2 drivers. Jim Mackey, Ray, any you guys? How many types of suspension systems on a semi?
On one single semi or on all the different semis?
It's the trailer.
The trailer.
Just the basic semi-trailer. Just a basic.
On the trailer, not the tractor?
Yeah.
Oh, the trailer, not the tractor.
So what do you think? You want to change? Kumar, he's got some doubts now because
What were the answers again?
1, 2, 3, 4.
You heard A, B, C, D.
How many types of suspension systems are on a trailer? 1, 2, 3, or 4.
I'll do 1.
He goes 1. Drivers.
I'll go 2.
Ray goes 2.
I'll go
I'm
with
with
you.
I'm with the drivers.
I literally
What do you think, Mike?
said B. before the squishing.
Two.
Two, yeah. It's spring ride and air ride.
Ding, ding, ding,
That's
ding.
the first thing I said.
Yeah, he did say it,
changed
but
his
he
answer.
changed it.
Done bamboozled me again.
1-0 Drivers. There you
Here's
go.
a hint, Kumar.
That's your guy,
anytime-
Christian.
Kumar, anytime you're winning, and or you have a guess, and Russ asks, "Are you sure?" You seem a little uneasy. Just stick with your answer. It's never bode well for you.
He changes it every time I go at him like that. That's so funny.
Well, it was different because I was thinking like the semi, the truck.
It's always different, Kumar. It's just always money leaving my wallet going to some fund somewhere.
That's great. All right, Joe.
All right, Kumar, 25%.
1-0 Drivers.
Here we go. According to Google, who was the leader in truck accidents in 2021? Was it A, Swift? Was it B, Werner? Was it D, FedEx? Or C, FedEx? Or was it D, JB Hunt?
That's a good question.
So whiffed. Final answer.
Swift.
Swift.
Is that your final?
Wow.
Drivers, what do you think? Swift, Werner, FedEx?
I'm gonna say
or
FedEx.
JB.
I'd have to agree with FedEx.
I was
Yeah,
going to say
I'm
that
gonna
too.
say
What do
That's
you say,
exactly what I was
Doty?
going to say.
They all say FedEx. What do you think? Your guys are right, Doty?
And I don't know. It's got to be FedEx or Swift, I would think. I'd
FedEx
have
has
to
a
go.
lot
Who's
more
bigger?
trucks in more popular
I think
areas.
FedEx too.
yeah,
And no
FedEx.
governor.
Are they
FedEx.
counting like box trucks?
I think FedEx.
What are we counting here?
FedEx
Yeah,
trucks are
FedEx.
governed at 86 miles an hour.
Yeah. Those are the ones you always see in a
That's
ditch.
the minimum speed.
What do you think, Christian? You think
We'll go with Kumar. He's right. He's got to be right.
Swift?
Yeah, they have so many Facebook pages with their problems. I think that'd be-
Exactly.
What's, what's the answer, Joel?
It's FedEx.
Oh,
According to Google,
nothing.
Sorry, Kumar. I
close
let you
second.
down.
Swift's got a lot
I
more
should have
trucks
gone
over
with another one so Kumar could change his answer yet again.
Joel, when we were training, when we first got our license, you remember we were out in, I want to say we were in Salt Lake.
Hawaii?
No, we were in Utah somewhere, and we came over a hill, and Matt, our trainer at the time, he said, "See down there? That's a FedEx graveyard. Don't go there."
yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
That's what made me think of FedEx right away, because it's always FedEx trucks. Yeah.
I saw one disappear in the fog at 80 miles an hour one night. I was doing 45. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
All right, question 3.
got to get there fast, Joel.
Kumar. It absolutely has prostitute.
2-0 Drivers.
All right, question
Thanks
3.
for the reminder, Russ.
Which of these is not a type of spark plug? Is it A, iridium? Was it B, copper? C, stainless? Or D, platinum?
Not a type
What was
of
C?
spark plug.
C was stainless.
D,
Stainless. I'm gonna go
was
with
platinum.
stainless.
What was the answers again, Joel, so we can tell the drivers?
Iridium,
Iridium,
copper,
copper,
stainless,
Stainless.
and platinum.
and platinum. Kumar, what'd you say?
He said
Kumar went with
stainless.
C.
Are you sure about that?
Does that sound right to you, Coop?
I'm
Stop.
keeping it. I'm keeping it.
You keeping it?
But now he's confident. Now you're confident.
My head's gonna explode.
Let's gaslight him into the wrong answer.
Drivers, is he right? Is it stainless? That's not a part of the normal spark plug.
Oh, it's iridium.
Iridium? Joel?
It's stainless.
I thought so too.
According to
Yeah.
I got iridium plugs.
I was
on the
hoping to change your answer again. I was
What does a
trying.
spark plug have to do with trucking? None of our trucks have spark plugs.
Shut your
bike. You know
mouth.
what? That is a great.
And guys, when Russ enters a topic later in the show, half of what we're talking about is going to be irrelevant. So
Yeah, we're talking about another truck
including
that
drive
doesn't have-
lines for trucks. Yeah.
Truck doesn't have spark plugs either.
Don't even have
Iridium,
tires.
copper, all that's going to apply.
It flies. It's on my tires. All right, question 4.
1 for Kumar, 2 to drivers.
Kumar.
I don't know.
What-
So I'm going to get my paperwork.
10-4.
Make sure you got
All
a
right,
signature
good
on it. A stamp.
Which category would not cause engine inducements? A, low def level. B, EGR system fault. C, low intake air pressure. Or D, the dowsing system interruption.
All right.
Which category would not cause engine inducements?
EGR.
Read the
Coom
answer.
says the EGR. Is it A, low def level? B, the EGR system? C, the low intake air pressure? Or D, the dowsing system interruption?
What do you say, drivers?
All right.
I got him this
I say
time.
he's right.
I'm
Mike?
gonna go with the low def level.
Low def
Okay.
level.
You didn't specify how low it was.
What do you think, Nate or Jim?
I would say the low def because it doesn't affect it until you run out.
Yeah. Okay, they say low def.
Let's
I don't
low
know
def.
what you think, Mike. I was going to say the doser. Because if it's not dosing,
Well,
you're not getting
You're not coasting.
ignition.
I'll use it wrong. Which category would not cause engine inducements? The correct answer was low intake air pressure.
Oh, that'd be my next guess.
All right. Well,
All right.
still
2-1
fresh.
drivers.
Christian, you technically didn't lose on that one.
That's not a vote of confidence either, Joel.
All right. I think you asked one of these, Russ. Question 4. Listen up. All right.
This is going to get a little technical here.
Is this a
No.
wrestling?
What's
question?
9 plus 10?
How many teams are in the Final Four? All right. Diesel.
8. There's 8, Joel. The women's and the men's.
Oh, you're right.
Bam.
Yeah. And Leah Thompson. Okay. Diesel engine. Diesel engine.
You're fired.
Sorry, Christian. Diesel engine combustion is the process of combusting what to create an expanding gas that makes the engine operate. Is it A, water and oil? Is it B, fuel? Is it C, air and water? Or is it D, fuel and air? Diesel engine combustion is the process of combusting what to create an expanding gas that makes the engine operate.
Can you repeat the answers?
Oh,
You sound
my
like Bill Nye. Inertia is a property.
This
of
is the
matter.
easiest question.
This goes right along what we're going to talk about.
All right, A,
later, too.
water and oil, B, fuel, C, air and water, or D, fuel and air?
Fuel.
Give me
Jim Mackey?
Give me that which
I know you got
Are
it.
you sure about that, Kumar?
Kevin?
I'm gonna go with fuel and air.
Jim, yeah, he said the same thing. I agree with these guys.
Well,
It takes the fuel and it takes the air to combust.
and the correct answer is fuel and air.
That's right. 3-1.
I was
Christian?
half right.
Sorry,
this is
Christian.
this is not going well at all.
As Joel would say, sorry, Christian. He
giving
always
me the eye.
apologized to Christian.
He's giving me the eye. He's like, let's go, Joel.
Been carrying you on
All
my
right.
back this whole time.
Hey,
So are we
Hey,
doing 6, 7
yeah,
questions?
Kumar, I'll
We're
let you
doing
know,
5.
Kumar,
Let's do 10 questions.
We can go 2 more.
2 more.
See if he's got a chance to tie him.
All right, let's see if you remember this. I think I remember this one. An RPM measures the rotation of what component? A camshaft,
Oh, wait, we did this one.
crankshaft,
Crank.
a starter?
Crank.
All right, never mind.
He was
No,
confident on
that's
that
2-3. That's
Crank,
2-3.
crank,
You're
crank.
paying attention. All right, we need another question, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So it's
Listen up.
2-3 now, right?
Diesel diesel engines offer better fuel economy. Fuel efficiency and more power under heavy loads than gasoline engines because of what that can be changed to fit the load. Is it A, fuel to air ratio, B, airflow, C, oil to fuel ratio, or D, air to core ratio?
Fuel to air.
You don't even remember the question.
It took 5 minutes to get it.
Right.
So let's get it.
So,
The rest of these are long.
all right, what's the, he said fuel to air. What do you guys think? I don't know.
Can you repeat
I
the
don't
question?
know either.
Repeat the question.
All right, so-
I'm stumped.
So diesel engines offer better fuel efficiency and more power under heavy loads than gasoline engines because of what that can be changed to fit the load. Is it A, fuel and air ratio, B, airflow, C, oil to fuel ratio, or D, air to core ratio?
I'm going air to core.
I think.
What was your first answer?
What was Kumar's answer?
Coom said fuel to air.
Fuel to air. Jim Mackey, you know?
I'm going to say, because I just don't know, I'm going to guess fuel to corn.
I'm going to go with Kumar on this. I think he's right, even though I know he guessed.
I did not.
Well,
do you
the
think,
correct
Mike?
answer is fuel to air ratio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Bam.
Now it's
Just
3-3.
like that, it's tied. We need a
I
tiebreaker.
need one more. All
Joel, I
right.
need you to sing.
Need me to sing?
Wait, it's 2-3.
That's 3-3.
No, he got the drive shaft.
He got the
Oh,
drive
the
shaft.
crankshaft.
Crankshaft.
That's right. Joel, that
Crank
was
it.
shady.
That was an expedition.
Come on, Joel. Bring it. Yeah, hard.
All right, last one. Why is fuel filtration?
Why is water wet?
Why is fuel filtration important to diesel engine operation? Is it A, so fuel can mix with oil and must be separated by a filter? Is it B, the fuel contains too much oil as delivered? C, dirty fuel can plug and damage the fuel injectors. Plugged injectors will not deliver the correct amount of fuel. Or is it D, fuel filters are not important. Diesel fuel will burn the same way regardless of contamination.
C.
Count it.
Boom.
Chalk that up. He
Final
beat him.
answer.
He got it.
Count it.
I know the driver's going to get that
Diesel's
one.
also-
It doesn't matter. He got it.
Because that was the
Christian's all
longest,
smiles.
most
That's it.
Boring as
Good comeback. That's an underdog story right
That
there.
is, yeah. That's you talk about a Cinderella story.
Talk about St. Peter's. Still
St.
Four in a
Peter's
row there.
Peacocks.
Yeah.
I'm about
So
to
now-
let
That's the
Coom
case.
hoodie.
We would have
I got
lost
one
by
more,
30
see if
in
you
the last
remember.
round.
I'm no longer Coom. I'm Rudy now.
Over there.
Rudy.
I'm gonna get a hoodie that says Coom. K-U-M.
Hey, Kumar, diesel
Big letters.
nitrogen oxide or NOx sensors measure what? Sulfur dioxide? B, nickel tetroxide? C, nitrogen oxides? Or D, calcium carbonate?
Hey, Coom, I'm gonna-
Repeat the question.
Hey, Coom, real quick. I'm going to remind you, you don't know anybody an answer right now. Just
No, this one's for
Yeah.
fun.
I don't, do I?
Consult your lawyer.
I'm
before
saving this
answering
one for next week.
Doty has to pay. The driver's lost. This one's for fun. Let's see if he remembers it. He had this question before.
Okay, you did.
And Joel couldn't pronounce the
Tetroxide?
Rudy.
Is that for me pronouncing the okay.
Yeah.
Diesel
All right.
noxide? Diesel nitrogen oxide.
Oh! He's off
Or
the
NOx
rails.
sensors. I had to cough, excuse me. Measures what? Sulfur dioxide, nickel tetroxide,
Jesus Christ, that's
You
Stone
say
Cold's
it.
music.
nitrogen oxide, or
Nitrogen
calcium
oxide, calcium nitrate.
carbonate.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Joel.
All right.
You got through it.
So I hate to say it, but
just pick one.
there was a lot going on. I'll go with C.
Yeah, there you go. All right, what is the answer, Joel?
All right, see.
Oh my God. All
Did
right.
the drivers get that one?
Stone Cold said so.
That one was for fun. That was for Joel.
Was
I
it C?
still can't pronounce it.
I think it was. I think that was a genuine.
Well, thanks. And Kumar, nice job. Write
Thank
down
you.
$20 to the St. Christopher Fund. St. Christopher is an organization for charity for drivers in need, their families in need. You can Google them, check them out. We've been collecting money for them since Christmas. So we'll be. When do we do it? Memorial Day. We're gonna cut that off and send it to them. Kumar, is that what we? Christian? Mike?
I thought it was the first day of spring.
No, it's first day of summer, and then
think
we're
we're
gonna
gonna
switch.
have one of those.
Yeah.
It's specifically for medical help.
Yeah, medical help for drivers and their families. It's an amazing cause. I got to read about it when we first started because I didn't know much about it. So yeah, $20. Write it down. Kumar, Mike is donating, and then so
Nickel tetroxide.
Does that go to Burke also?
Wait, can we talk about the Chris Rock slap?
yeah, what do you
It
wanna talk
happened. What do you
about?
want to talk about?
I just wanted to see what you guys thought about it.
I don't think that relates to trucking
I
at
thought it
all.
was-
Well, listen, it's in his background right there, so that's why I figured
He's
we
the
could talk
pop
about
culture
it.
icon.
You can talk about Batman too.
Look at Christian. He's like, can we get to something serious?
Yeah,
If I've got to hear about Will Smith one more time this week.
But that's the elephant in the room right
Russ,
now.
didn't you want to talk about Teslas?
it was completely classless. I gotta commend Chris Rock for standing there and
Yeah, he handled
I don't
it well.
the way he handled it. Yeah, and I don't know.
I think that's how most people would handle it.
Will
Total
Smith-
shock. I
Will
mean.
Smith's got some issues. That's all I can
His
say
whole
about
family
it.
has some issues. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So there you go. We
All
talked
right,
about it.
Cool. Moving
Awesome.
on.
Moving on. Next
So-
topic.
Put that on TikTok, bud.
Yeah,
So
that'll be
There
numbers,
you go.
brother.
I got a text about a week ago, and it was the presentation of. It was from my son. He sent me the presentation of the Tesla Semi, and it was a presentation on TikTok. You guys might have seen it. It was Elon Musk came out, standing right in front of the Semi. It's not. You can just Google the presentation of TikTok for the on TikTok the Tesla Semi, and I watched it and I was pretty impressed with what he was saying. And I do like Elon Musk and some of the things. I like the cars. I haven't been in a Tesla or anything. We've talked about it before on the show, Christian, but from what I hear, they're amazing. So the semi is coming out. Can you put on screen the first picture?
I'm still waiting on my Cybertruck.
So here's,
I'm still waiting on my Cybertruck.
So here's a picture of it. This is the one they're coming out imminently. It's imminent that you can put your order in. You can put a $5,000 deposit.
Imminent?
You got 10 or 15 days to go to your bank and wire them, 15 more thousand, so 20 grand.
Code.
And then you are placing your order, and then you can go arrange your financing if you want to go that route.
That guy can't haul any freight.
Is that in the middle?
That's in the middle. So this is the Tesla Semi.
I mean, it looks cool.
It does, I think.
It looks like some Jetson stuff.
So a couple things about it, and then we'll just keep it on that picture for now. Tesla Semi is the safest ever made, according to Elon Musk and his team at Tesla. 4 independent motors, 0 to 60, and weighing 80,000 pounds. How fast do you think that? How long do you think?
10
that would
minutes.
take?
5 and a half seconds.
Fully loaded or
Fully loaded
with a trailer?
weighing 80,000 pounds with a trailer, 45,000 in the box, whatever the math works out to be, but weighing 80,000 total, gross weight, 20 seconds.
0 to 60?
What kind of fuel does that take?
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Electro fuel.
Lowest energy cost per mile ever. Speed up a 5% grade. Fully loaded. What do you think? Jim, Kevin, or Nate, or Ray? You got any idea?
Like how fast it can go uphill?
Yeah, 5% grade, fully loaded.
75 miles an hour.
60 miles an hour.
60 miles an hour. Yeah, Ray looked it up.
I read it.
I knew he did.
You're driving and Googling.
The mileage range, which was a big thing when my son and I were talking about it. He's really into mechanical engineering and stuff. And we were talking about it, and I said, well, for my business, for our fleet, the range, our drivers, some run short, don't get me wrong, but some run 650, 700 miles in a day. So that range needs to be more than 300. He said it's 300 to 500. And at the 500, it's like just shy of 500. And at the 500 mile range truck, you pull over for a half hour and charge it'll charge back up to 80%.
If only there was a reason drivers needed to pull over for half an hour at a time.
Yeah,
too.
well, about 480 miles, that's around your 8-hour DOT half-hour break.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
My thing is, why can't they,
every 5 hours? It'd be great.
Why couldn't they come to a compromise and put an APU, diesel-powered APU on it that charges the
That's a great idea, or a great thought, Mike.
I'd make it a hybrid.
Well, my first question, and Joel brought this up to me too outside earlier, but I brought this up to someone else I was talking to about it. I mean, wouldn't it be cool if there was a way that, like, generator or something, alternator, some kind of invention,
like maybe solar power on the top of the trailer, or something like
that could continue to charge it while it's rolling.
Yeah, I mean, I know they want them 100% electric, but if you could just incorporate just a small diesel generator, it would charge the batteries
solar
as you
on
drive.
the top of the trailer, like
that's a great idea.
Or that, yeah.
Idea.
And then when you're, in your trailer sweeping it out, you got.
I think they said. I think I did read though that the amount of solar panels it would take to charge one of those is like it would be a ton.
I don't know
the amount of time if they didn't have enough solar panels.
They basically have little mini wind turbines as wheels that move. So why wouldn't they just recapture that energy? Food for thought.
They do. They do
yeah.
actually. That's how they get the 500 miles though. It's
a constant.
Otherwise it would be a lot shorter. But they do that. Yeah.
Excellent.
The powertrain, 4 independent motors on the rear axles, on your drive axles. So the price, the 300-mile range truck is $150,000, and the 500-mile range is $180,000. I was blown away by that. My first guess was $500,000. That's what I was thinking. I didn't know. I had no idea. But
yeah, I guess 400.
Yeah. There's a red one rolling across.
Hey, Russ, can other trucks hook up to the trailer? Or is that
one
trailer?
No, it has a 5th wheel setup. I looked into that too. So we can put that on our fleet and hook up to our trailers.
Well, they took the mirrors off and put cameras there.
and you see. Well, we're getting ready to show you in a minute. Don't click yet, but
sorry.
the interior picture. There's 2 computers up there that you can see, basically like your mirrors. That's going down. That's where those cameras are facing. The back of the rear. Yeah. Instant traction control with 4 independent motors, like I said, on the rear axles. Autopilot mode will help avoid collisions.
Or the opposite.
So it's driver assist, I guess. I don't know what they call it, but that's what I would call it. It's intended for the driver to stay in the seat and monitor the operation of the computers in the truck, and monitor the road. So it's not to take away. It's not autonomous, but you can put it on once you're up on the highway and rolling. You're going 65, you can put it on autopilot, and it'll take over. It'll slow down.
Duty while you're driving.
It'll slow down when it needs to, and it'll avoid collisions. That's amazing. I'm blown away still at that. A centered driving position provides maximum visibility, so that was, I guess, part of that design, where you see the driver right there in the center. Low center of gravity.
Looks like Ray.
The low center of gravity is basically because all the batteries are at the bottom, so it offers rollover protection. It's very heavy. And the way I thought about that, you guys know what a scissor lift is?
Yeah.
So there's a counterweight, and I used to, years ago, when I was young, I worked in construction for a little bit, and I'd work on those scissor lifts, and I don't know how much it weighs, but there's a counterweight in the bottom of those scissor lifts. That's why you can extend way up there, and not that you can't tip it, but yeah, it doesn't. And that's basically the same design here, where all the weight in those batteries and stuff, and maybe they have other counterweights in there, but and like I said, the low center of gravity offers rollover protection. A 2-year payback period from fuel savings. That's what jumped out at me. So, Christian, Doty, I just picked out one company driver and looked at the fuel. It's on that Lone Star mic.
Yeah.
So if we're spending, with the new fuel prices, fuels went up. If we're spending $1,800 a week in fuel and we eliminate that.
Well, I mean, is it completely eliminated?
No, you're going to have to pay for charging.
Right.
But what's it going to cost? $15-$30?
We don't know yet, I don't think.
Yeah, they know. I mean, they have charging stations everywhere. It's about, I think, $10 for a car if you use one. For a full charge.
Yeah, for a car. I'm not sure what it's going to take for a truck, but
it's a lot more, yeah.
I mean, even if you spent $15-$30 in a day.
Oh, that'd be gigantic, yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
I looked at it like this, and when you and I were talking about it, Christian, I mean, just in the fuel savings, the truck pays for itself. You probably make money, above and beyond that.
It's $7.65 to charge a Tesla Model 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Until the government gets their hands on it.
Well, and
they're
that's
gonna
part of
tax
it. And they talk about the grid, because if you're charging during the day, it's going to be more than if you're charging at night. And a capability of charging something like this might have to come straight from the power grid. They say the charging stations for something like this, I think it might be $100,000 for a charging station. So, I mean, there's a huge cost to have the infrastructure brought in, let alone the mining for all the minerals, the batteries. I mean, I won't derail this, but I had a lot of questions.
That's what I brought it up, because I want to hear everybody's opinion on this, because I'm interested. I mean, in a week, it's really got my attention because of the amount of fuel that we spend.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm talking one truck, we're spending $1,800 a week.
This will be great once they have the infrastructure for it. Once they have charging stations at every single major truck stop, this is going to start to make sense. But until
it's still going to create a problem because of how many truck stops to get charging.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to sit there and wait in line to get your truck charged like they do with their cars.
Yeah.
And are you going to be able to have it at every single spot, or are you going to have to have charging stations, and then you have to interrupt your brake possibly? There's all kinds of things. 2 years ago.
Well, see,
go ahead.
Yeah, my biggest worry too is okay, so at first it's going to seem real cheap until the government realizes they're losing tax money on diesel because a lot of people are buying electric. Now, what are they going to tax electricity on? And that's just going to put us right back in square one. Because the government always has to have it. They always got to have their hand in the cookie jar.
And Ray makes a really good point. It's kind of like if you buy an electrical vehicle. You pay higher at the DMV when you first get it. Because
even here in Ohio, my wife has a yearly $100 fee because she has a hybrid.
Yeah.
Every single year, which is outrageous.
Yeah.
And what about
Yes, so-
breakdowns too, though?
Well, they guaranteed no breakdowns for 1 million miles.
Really?
That's insane.
Well,
Yeah, it is
if you
insane.
if you believe that, I have a max force engine in my parking lot.
I'm not saying that. I'm not.
It's in Brooklyn, I wanna
I'm
say.
just
Yeah, I'm
telling
not
you.
saying that it's
beachfront
not going to
property
break
in
down.
Montana.
It's
No,
just that they're
I know,
going
I'm
to
just-
back it
I
up.
do believe that there's going to be less breakdowns because electric motors are way simpler than diesel motors.
And there's no drive
Well,
line. You have no drivetrain at all.
Yeah.
And there's no drivetrain. The engines are right at the wheel, and that's where all the power is coming from. That's why
Right,
your
and
power increases there.
Right, and it's going to be pure torque. And 4 engines going, to all four back there. It's just like breakdowns, though. I mean,
a tire.
is there
yeah,
going to
I
be
mean,
a price increase because we're going from mechanical to electrical, or?
I think we're gonna find that the industry is going to have to adapt to it, and it's almost a checklist where when you have a rate, it's no longer line haul plus fuel,
right.
right? And it might be a line haul plus an electric surcharge, right?
Kilowatt
For what you
charge.
what's that?
A kilowatt charge.
Yeah, kilowatt charge. Well, you're onto something, but there's a lot of things that are going to change. It's going to be a hybrid for a long period of time. I think that there's always this, it's like Christmas morning. You want to get something new. I have questions like, how much does it weigh? You look at a Tesla and what that weighs, comparatively speaking, to a regular vehicle. What's the weight on this thing, Russ?
I didn't get a weight. That's the one thing I don't have. I couldn't find it anywhere.
Because then you have road degradation and what it costs the government to make sure all of our bridges and everything can handle the extra capacity. Because I know, like out in California, when they have medium duties, they have to give certificates that you can have a 2,000 overweight allowance on it. So essentially, if you drive an electrical truck out there, you can have a higher weight. So that does wear your brakes and your tires and everything else out as well. I still think it's a cost benefit. I 100% agree with you. I just don't want to be the first guy in line to try it, but I'd like to be right behind that guy somewhere.
I'm fascinated with Elon Musk said in the presentation of it, guaranteed Tesla will guarantee no breakdowns for 1 million miles. And so I did request some information because there's limited information on this and the specs and everything that you can get right now. But you could request it from Tesla via the mail, the U.S. mail. So I should have some information coming. I did that over the weekend. I did request that. So they said it was being shipped to me. So we'll see. I'm curious. But it's pretty fascinating. Just basically overnight, I went from thinking that, we talked about autonomous trucks before. I asked Jim, you ever think you'll see a truck driving itself going down the road? Jim, what'd you say? No, probably not in your lifetime.
I think I got to change my mind on that.
You might, because this truck might be pulling up next to you here in the near future on autopilot.
I've seen some trucks down in Texas that are all set up for it.
Yeah.
I seen these trucks. I said, what the heck is all that stuff on there?
It's got the laser imagery on the outside of it.
Yeah.
Those are
So
cool,
then
the
what
LiDAR.
is this I just saw?
Last week that were both autonomous.
What is this I just saw last week? It's a news article about Christian Brothers or something? Signed up like 500 trucks to go autonomous in a study.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I think I saw something about that.
I did read that PepsiCo, the company, ordered a bunch of these trucks. I don't know how many. I read that this week because I've been fascinated with this all week. I did find that on the internet, and the deliveries are imminent, is what it says on the Tesla website. When you go, I went in to look, pressed OK, order one. I didn't do it, but I went in and checked it out. It says that
you're going to see. That's what you're going to see. You're going to see like Walmart and those places. Walmart's in a position, or someone like that is in a position to roll them out, to buy them for pretty much their whole fleet, because they can put them at their distribution centers and then just put charging stations at all their Walmarts. While they're getting unloaded, they could be charging their trucks.
All these LTL companies would definitely benefit from it too, because they can just put the chargers at their own
terminal
base of operations. Just charge them there at night.
A lot of the beer companies, the distribution companies, because you can leave. You can run. Even the one here in Cleveland, they run down to the brewery in Trenton, which is by Dayton, and then they turn around and come back. They're running round trip about 220 miles, 30 miles.
Yeah,
a day.
2016 was their first autonomous vehicle. It went 200 miles for a load.
For who?
Well,
Anheuser-Busch.
Oh, you know what it reminds me of? You know the natural gas fueled, Christian, the ones at the big tank behind you.
Yep.
I drove one for a company here, and I drove. I wanted to do something local for a while, so I drove one for about 3 or 4 months, and I was doing that beer run down to Trenton and come back. And that was that was new to me, and we talk about this many times, but accepting change is just a fact. It's happening. It's a part of life. And I kept thinking to myself, I don't want to drive this, but they upped their whole fleet to these. And it was, my feeling was like, I feel like this thing's going to explode. It was a day cab and it was right behind my head, but it was changed. I got used to it after a couple of days and the noises it would make. And this is a similar situation. Like I asked Jim, if you see a guy reading the newspaper going down the road on autopilot in one of these new Tesla semis, Jim, what are you going to think?
It's time to stop driving.
I'm going to get out of the way.
Or off the, yeah.
Hey, I found here Russ on Axios, something about Elon Musk. He said the trucking battery, this is back in 2017, they have projections that it was up to $70,000 for the battery and weighs up to 3 tons. But they said as for fuel savings, if a truck driver drives 100,000 miles a year and pays, this is funny, $2.50 a gallon for diesel, so we can double that now.
Yeah.
Fuel cost for a conventional truck will be $25,000, so let's assume $50,000.
Right.
The electrical equivalent for 100,000 miles is 100,000 kilowatt hours. And at a possible wholesale price of 10 cents each, that would be $10,000 in charging cost. A potential savings obviously be $40,000.
Yeah. And I can see the savings being bigger now with the fuel. I know what.
Yeah. Well, I doubled it. I doubled it for the $5 as opposed to $2.50. So.
Yeah, but I think that's even low because I can see us spending $1,800, $1,900 depending on how heavy our loads are, what kind of what year the trucks we have. I mean, we're doing that on that Lone Star. It's every week. It's been the last.
Well, and you don't have to really worry about an engine rebuild so much. It's more of the battery life, and the battery life's on those because we just went through this school board with some electric buses that Bedford's getting, and they say it's going to be 8 to 10 years for the battery life. Now they are starting to find through what they call solid state batteries the ability to basically recharge them. Mm-hmm. So this way, it's not a complete waste of the battery. But those batteries are not inexpensive when you do have to get there. But at least it's a fixed cost that you're going after.
So if you're going to you're going to spend, what'd you say, 70 or 80?
Yeah, well, that's what it projected in 17. I imagine that cost is down now.
So I would be really interested to see if in this $1 million or million mile guarantee, if the battery is covered as well, if the life of the battery is covered.
He said,
I'm sure there's going to be exceptions.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. If you run 100,000 miles at 10 years for a $1 million mile truck, I mean, you're pretty close. He's pretty close.
So what do you guys think? How do you think it looks? Can you click to the next slide there? Ray, would you be proud going down the road in your new Tesla?
It's going to have to grow on me, but I mean, it looks way
that
different
one has
than what
mirrors.
I'm used to.
Looks like a Mercedes van.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it looks like a cooler Volvo.
It looks like a Volvo and a VW Bug got together.
It reminds me of when we was all driving cab overs and we seen our first trucks out there with the hood. Yeah. And all you do is like, oh, wow, what was that?
Yeah.
It does look like a Volvo and VW.
Yeah, and from what I hear, too, they have someone told me yesterday that they're looking into it. They were going to let me know if they found anything, but you can also order a trailer with the Tesla Semi, and I don't know what the difference is with that and a standard trailer. I don't know, but
maybe they will do some solar panel stuff on the roof for the Tesla
that's
trailers.
Why. And I haven't got that information yet, too. So this is very new to all of us. I don't mind the way it looks. I think driving in the center would take a little bit of getting used to. And, Ray, you wouldn't be able to stick your right arm out the window and get it, 50 shades darker than your left.
Well, that could be an advantage right there. I can probably tan the other arm, too.
Yeah, you can stick both arms out both windows.
You know what? Something I just thought about with the Tesla trailers, they could also have a battery pack on there as well. So if you're doing like drop-in hooks or you just want an extended range, they could put it on there as well. You'd have limited weight though because of that, but another idea. Yeah.
I asked somebody else that knew more about Teslas than I do. I said, well, my not biggest, but one of my concerns would be charging. For a semi, where do you get it charged if you're running? You cross over the 400-mile mark. You got to take a break anyway.
Sounds like breakdown.
Where do you charge? And this guy told me, he said, well, on the cars, you just put it in your GPS, nearest charging station, and it'll take you there. So I'm wondering if the semi will do the same, if you can put it in, that'll take you to it.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it'll have
Well,
that.
will it take you to a truck that
probably
you could, a place that you could fit a truck, though?
Right.
Yeah, well, no,
For
I'm
the
sure
truck
it'll have it to where you could probably just put them right on your route, and it'll have every truck charging station on your route.
I got to believe they're going to be popping up in the big 3 truck stops, Flying J, Pilot, Loves, and TAs.
We'll probably start seeing them like 1 or 2 or 3
Well, that's the way it took off with the. Well, that's the way it took off with the compressed natural gas. I mean, at first, you seen the truck, but you didn't see the refilling stations until they started popping up at pilots and stuff. So.
That's why I was wondering about the charging stations, Nate, because when I drove that CNG truck, they didn't have the place where I was driving for didn't have the pumps. So I had to go to the city of Columbus. So I had to stop on my way to the brewery, which was in Dayton, so about 120 miles, city of Columbus. Even though I wasn't even near empty, I had to fill up. So I'd stop there, in the morning, fill up, go to the brewery, drop and swap,
get some beer.
go back, and I had to stop again in Columbus to refuel again. That way I could get up to Cleveland and then back the next day. You follow me?
Yeah.
So I had to stop multiple times twice, and it takes a while because that was the only place around Columbus, and you had city trucks trying to refuel at the same time in the morning. Sometimes I sat there for an hour just to get to a pump. So I'm curious about the charging.
You could fill that up in 10 minutes?
What?
You could fill up your fuel 10 minutes?
The CNG truck, the natural gas. It didn't take long. It's all about pressure, so you watch the pressure. But
right, but now with an electric truck, you're going to sit there for an hour, 2 hours?
30 minutes, it'll fully charge. It'll almost fully charge. 30 minutes, you're back up to 80% charging. 80% charged.
And the one thing I gotta say about that is that they are constantly working to make it faster and faster and faster. I mean, the original Teslas took forever to charge, and now they have them with these superchargers that do them, like 10 minutes flat.
Faster than my iPhone.
Right. So it is technology that will keep advancing. So,
along with technology advancing and charging faster, that they also have to have the batteries to be able to stand the faster charging, because the fast charging makes your batteries go faster or wear out and not have the long life too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can you go to the next slide? Is that the interior? Check this out. That's pretty wild. It kind of reminds me of you remember the van it was like a Pontiac van that had the windows like that?
Astro van.
The Aerostar?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't the Astro.
I love the Astro.
It was a Pontiac.
I know what you're saying. Had that long nose.
Long nose and had those side windows.
I think it was called an Aerostar.
It's similar.
It looked like something out of Spaceballs.
Yeah, it was not the Aerostar either. That was a Ford. But there's a Pontiac. I forget which one it was. It reminded me of that.
The Chevys did the same thing. It was the Chevy was it the Lumina van?
Yes, Silhouette. It was a Silhouette van.
Yeah.
They did the same thing. Yeah, Pontiac and GM, they do a lot of stuff that's the same. But yeah, so what do you think of that, Nate? Kick
It
back.
looks like that dude's in the air.
I mean,
you could be riding on the floor.
I was just getting ready to say it kind of looks like a damn airplane cockpit.
It does. It looks cool.
He's taking off in that picture.
Yeah,
he's
going
off
Photoshop. That is terrible.
Well, 0 to 60 in 20 seconds. He probably is
taking him off a cliff.
He's taking off. All right. That blew my mind. How fast you could get up to 60.
How about that sleeper berth?
I got an issue with that 60 mile an hour in 20 seconds.
You're running people over.
Your freight's gonna fall over in the back.
You better put some straps on that freight.
Well, we used to have have the big motors we hauled swinging meat because that's the only way to stop us was on the back door.
Yeah.
But I got an issue with traction, with weight, with the snow, the ice, even water.
Yeah.
Is there a sensor in there that will stop it from spinning if it starts to lose traction? Or
Yeah, it has automatic traction control.
At each wheel.
Yeah.
Automatic traction control at each wheel. So if it needs to send more power to one wheel and less to the other, it's going to do it.
And they can do them all independently too, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It just feels like, guys, we've come to the time that the machines are smarter than us.
That's not good.
Terminator.
You know? Yeah. But it's really cool.
We need to destroy Skynet.
Fascinated.
Yeah.
So
Russ, I know.
Go ahead, Christian.
For a sec. I know I dropped out for a second. Weather and altitude. I was just jotting down some notes earlier. Weather and altitude have got to play a factor on those batteries. So I don't know. Like if I'm driving, I know it's going to cost a lot of fuel, but I really don't want to be worried about traffic or not finding a parking location or a charging unit and having to worry about the battery life, or if I'm going through the hills, or if it's a really cold day, because all of that affects batteries just the same way it does anywhere else with cold cranking amps and everything. So
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I imagine it'll be fine downstream.
So you
the good news is you don't have to worry about anything up idling your truck, right?
We'll let the big boys figure it out, and then we come in. But it might be a lot heavier price at that point too.
That's the risk.
Yeah, I know.
Never buy the first model year of a car,
They said that about Bitcoin too. Let us see what happens, and I'm glad I bought it early.
The people who don't want you to buy said that.
Hey,
looking at it from that, until the infrastructure is really there for you to be able to charge almost anywhere, you're spending the money now wouldn't be a good idea.
I totally agree with that, and that's what I said. I'm very interested in buying one of these if I know that there's a charging station where you could reserve your parking like you do at the truck stops. They need to be at every truck stop, the major ones.
It's going to take a while. It's
going
to take a long while.
Is the next picture the last one? Okay, wait. Don't go to the last one yet. So, Mike, what were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say, there's no, right now for an OTR driver, like Christian was just saying, to go somewhere, park, you wouldn't know.
Where
infrastructure is just not especially for an OTR guy that has to park and stay.
You might have to drop trailer and bobtail out somewhere to find a charging station where you could charge.
I'm just thinking, can you imagine going to a super difficult shipper or receiver, and while you're there you're like,
can I plug in?
Yeah, you got an extension cord I can borrow?
I just need 1,600 gigavolts.
Yeah. That's funny.
I think the only way I would do it is if I had an alternative charging source.
Yeah, because like let's say you get stuck somewhere that's holding you up overnight when you weren't expecting it. What are you supposed to do? You can't, they say you can't drop your trailer. They're going to keep on loading you. What do you do?
I'll tell you, I'm like a kid when a new Hot Wheel comes out. I love it. I'm fascinated, and if Christian wouldn't have stopped me today, I'd probably have put my order on.
Oh, my Lord.
You should have done that regardless.
And now this is episode 50 where you blame me for your lack of success a year from now.
Yeah,
Russ, buy away, buddy. I'm all about it. I'd love to watch it. And we can measure.
And I'm only kidding, but I definitely am very interested. I'm just fascinated. It's I knew it was coming. I just didn't know it was imminent, like they said in their presentation. But, however, for those guys out there that want just can't live without that long nose, Tesla has a solution for that too. Here's the long nose test.
We got a few there.
There it is. He's in the trailer slide and the truck slide.
So you can still look good going down the road. And under that big old hood, you don't have any mechanical things anymore. You keep your dry goods and your suitcase. Yeah.
See, I wouldn't want to have a sleeper berth up at the front of the truck like that, because if a Swift driver comes and takes you out, you're gone.
Right. Yeah. Should have today, didn't we, Russ?
Yeah, that's for dry goods.
Get backed into.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was just for fun, guys, because I know somebody's going to comment on the on the not having a long nose, Pete.
Oh yeah,
you ain't a real trucker.
Yeah.
The haters.
So, but Christian, what'd you have on it? Because I know you got something put together too.
Yeah, I did. Let me pull that up here. And if my computer crashes again, it'd just be adios. It's thank you, HP. You guys can see this, right?
Episode 50.
All right, there we go. So first, obviously, I love the humor of Mike Tyson. So he would drive a Tesla.
I told you guys Mike Tyson was coming on the show.
He didn't lie, did he?
You drove a Tesla?
Tesla.
So Christian, I didn't tell you this, but that's so funny because about 3 weeks ago, I text Kumar and someone else, or did I text you, Joel? And I said I'm trying to get Mike Tyson on the show, and they're like, "No way, you'll never get him." And then you pop up with that. That's great.
That's great.
Back me up.
We're not.
I don't know what's happening here. Apparently, not everything I did saved, but when my computer crashed. But you were talking about the fuel savings, 3,200 miles, high mileage, obviously. But we ran a fuel cost of $5.04, just getting 6 miles per gallon. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about fuel cost versus the cost per mile for what we have in the savings between. But all this, Russ, if you bought one today, Russ, for just make a deposit today, but this would just go right back.
Do it.
Don't encourage him.
Do
Just
it.
go right back in your. Just cash a Bitcoin or something. I don't know.
It just goes right back in your pocket, though. You know what I mean?
That's right. I mean, think about a Bitcoin with an automatic rate of return on it, Russ. I have no idea what I'm talking about either. By the way.
Are you a financial advisor?
No, I wouldn't take it. But
What happens if you rip a mud flap?
They just grow back, Ray.
It's like a lizard's tail. When it falls off, it just grows right back.
I don't know if you heard Russ earlier. It's not going to
Regenerating
happen.
mud flaps, yeah.
Yeah,
There we go.
Russ mentioned that earlier. It's not going to happen the first 1,000,000 miles. So
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Guaranteed.
Guaranteed. That's it.
Okay.
Titanium mud flaps. Here we go.
You got a good point there.
And the other part of that was just, a lot of it is about fuel. But if we just talk about the market recently, we know if you look at tender rejections and Freightways video, I was going to patch in today, but I didn't. Talking about the rejections and where March is being unstable compared to relatively where it's usually a good month. And it's the end of the first quarter. We're going into spring. Things starting to open up. And so it doesn't look great. But the one thing you can do is just a little bit, chip away a little bit at a time. John Rockefeller was asked one time, how much money is enough? Anybody know the answer, what he said?
All of it.
Well, that's close, and that would be him. But he said just a little bit more, right? Just a little bit more. So if we look at really what one truck would do a week with 4 stops, averaging about a $7,000 week, and we talk about vacancy factors, this would say that, all right, if we have a 93% a half day off, out of $7,000 a week on 4 loads would be $500 in that deficit. But annually, that half a day a week is going to cost you $26,000. So I know habits have changed when money lights up. I've got some guys that were getting really comfortable, and now they're going back out the road a little further. I talked to one today. He said, hey, man, I noticed the market changed a little bit. I'm not going to go home every weekend. I'm going to start doing every other. Really smart, because what he's doing is if he puts that extra day of vacancy out there on the road annually right now at this is the second one here, the yellow, it put $52,000 in his pocket for that 1 day less vacancy, or it would take it away, which is why there's a negative if he had 1 more day of vacancy a week. And then if someone takes off 2 days a week, not very likely, but there are guys that were staying out 3-4 weeks at a time and now they're home every weekend. That's, if you're taking 2 extra days off a week, it's costing you $104,000. So fuel is important. The rates are important. But if you can just chip away at the occupancy, that's not it. I'm not sure why that said that was the end of the slide, but that's apparently all we're going to get today. I also did one that talked about if you just made an additional $50 per load, or if you made an extra $25 per load, what that would do to your bottom line.
Yeah.
And it's huge. 4 loads a week, $25 a pop. 52 weeks, it's several $1,000s a year putting in your pocket.
I've always said that around here, Ian, Zach. I know you guys know over the years, that extra 25, Joel, that extra $25, $50, $30, whatever you can get on a load, it adds up. It adds up for the driver over the year. It adds up for us. It adds up for everybody. And when you're booking freight tomorrow, maybe after you negotiate your best rate, Mike, Christian, Joel, tell them that we need to get a kilowatt surcharge added
surcharge right on top of it.
Yeah, we got to.
I'm gonna start pushing that.
I'm gonna
listen.
start
I
saying
need
it.
another $100 on
For
this
my
load so
kilowatt
I can get a
surcharge.
Tesla.
And we need to get the Tesla deleted.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that's funny, Joel.
DPF Alternatives is not happy about the Tesla.
No.
I don't think they're controlling market interest anytime soon, but it's coming.
Yeah. It's fascinating, and maybe Christian next week you could get Henry Albert to stop in for a few minutes and just let us know what he thinks about it. He's a smart guy.
Yeah, 100%.
That'd be cool. So, Mike, what do you think? Is your head exploded already? You ready to buy one with me? You want to split it?
I think the savings will be there in the long run. You know, you don't know if they're going to go up or down, but once the infrastructure's there, you know, right now I'd be scared.
Russ, with my luck, I'd buy one, and fuel would go down to 85 cents a gallon.
just as Tesla starts
America
rolling
releases all their reserve oil barrels and
right,
fuel's way
exactly.
down.
Yeah.
Just as the Teslas get released and start hitting the road, you see fuel go to $1 a gallon.
Yeah, get one for 80,000 now.
You know, one more thing I just thought about is it's eventually not just going to be Tesla in the electric truck market. I mean, I'm sure Volvo, Peterbilt.
No, Peterbilt's already got the 579E. That's for a local and drayage. They already have that out.
Really?
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah, it's in production. It's not out. It's in production.
Okay. I thought I seen that Nokia has got one too.
Well, there's a couple of Chinese auto manufacturers that are right up there competing with Tesla with their automobiles. So I can imagine they're going to be looking down this road too. So it's coming from all kinds of new companies, and you know, it's coming. It's almost here. So
does it have a sleep? Is there any pictures? Does it have a sleeper? And
I
stuff?
did see a picture. I didn't get one on here, but I did see a picture of a sleeper. It looked pretty cool.
Tesla Daycare.
Yeah, I mean, it looks
lit up with a trillion LEDs. You can't sleep at night because it's so bright.
Bed in it.
Yeah.
Well, you couldn't put lights on it because that drained your batteries.
Yeah, you can't see in the side.
You have to use your phone flashlight, Jim.
You gotta get an oil lamp for the inside there.
And that's what I'm curious about. The infrastructure too. That's where that comes in, having to park overnight and run everything that you would inside the.
Yeah, how am I going to microwave my steak?
Yeah, I mean, not instead of stealing fuel, you just unplug the guy's truck and plug it into yours and move.
Man, can you imagine the fights over that?
I mean, just guys coming and cutting cords.
Yeah, truck stops gonna have tangles all over the place. Tangled extension cords.
People forgetting to unplug and just pulling away.
Oh my gosh, $100,000 bill.
That'd be so funny though. The guy
I wouldn't be comfortable unless I had a self-contained charging.
Let me tell you something. These all the smart people that came up with electrical cars, if they saw this, they'd be like, "Man, what a bunch of idiots! We're gonna have charging pads that you just pull on and it charges it like a cell
your phone
charging pad." Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, truck driver's gonna pee on them.
Yeah, or just have the roadway made out of that.
Cause a short circuit by peeing on these charging pads.
All the geniuses are like light years ahead of us. We're talking about extension cords. They're like, what are you talking about?
How are we going to eat our burrito?
We planned this without extension cords.
Yeah, how am I going to get rewards on my fuel card from Love's Rewards and then no more free hot dogs?
How am I going to get a shower?
Now? Yeah, I'm going to pay for a shower now.
We're just going to stink from now on.
Yeah. Well, anyway, this has been a really good subject. It's fun. We're getting into the beginning of this, so I look forward to talking to everyone about it again. And
let's get Elon on the pod.
Yeah, Elon's next. If you have any input,
we'll be here next week.
Yeah, if you have any input, let us know. Reach out to the show. We're curious. Come on the show.
He says he'll change your tire.
Talk to us, and then Christian. I hope that Henry has the chance to. Maybe next week come on and just shed some light because he's a very smart guy, and then like I believe you said, he does know a little bit about this, so probably a lot
of it.
But with that, you guys got anything else, Mike, Christian?
I did find that other missing slide here. I never saved it when my computer shut off.
Let's go.
But quickly, if you did 4 loads a week on $7,000 average, and you made an extra $25 a load, it'd be $100 a week, which would be $5,200 in your pocket. If you can bump that up to just 50 loads, $50 per load for 4 loads a week, then that's $10,400. And the same thing, if you have a 6% increase in your rate weekly, just a 1 week, every week you hit that 6%, that'd be $100 per load, which would be $400 a week, which would put $20,000 in your pocket. If you had a 14% increase, which is $250 per load on 4 loads, that would be $52,000. So between getting an extra $100 a load and taking 1 extra day a week puts an extra $100,000 in your pocket.
That's amazing, and it works. That's just like taking $25 a week and sticking it in your savings account. You look back a couple years later, and you would be amazed. My dad always said stuff like that to me growing up. He's a huge saver, and I wasn't good at it, and I got good at it, but I wasn't good at it when I was young. And by the way, happy birthday to my dad. He watches the show. He turned 75 today.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Pops. Right. And if you haven't noticed, behind Mike Doty, he's at Fish Stalker's studio in Bradenton, Florida.
Dunedin.
Right? Dunedin. I can never get it right. Anyway.
That's all the same.
Yeah, it's all the same area. Fort Myers, St. Pete.
Florida. Key Largo.
Yeah, Key Largo. Montego.
Cuba.
Yeah. That's Mike's new studio. He just got it all put together. He built it.
Show him your microphone, Mike. How cool
oh yeah,
it is. It matches your grill from the contest.
Looks like a hair curler.
Now mute it real quick. Show everybody how cool it is. Mute it.
That's awesome. That's cool.
No, he said no cuss.
I did.
That's really cool. So and Mike, in case you guys didn't know, I know we've mentioned it. Mike bought a bait shop, and his two sons, who are grown, are running it, and Mike's working them night and day, 7 days a week, 14 hours a day.
No sleeping.
And in the afternoon, they're selling shrimp po' boys out the back, the shrimp that they don't sell for bait. So if you want a shrimp po' boy or you need some shrimp for fishing, come on down to Fish Stalkers.
Yeah, and next week, Mike is going to eat as many raw shrimp
as he can on the show. If Kumar loses.
Can we charter your boat this summer, Mike?
If Kumar
wins.
Can we charter your boat?
He's got
the fishing trip.
Come on.
On the air pressure. Look at that.
Let's go.
Mark Chavez is
open invitation.
Deaton Dawson fishing trip.
Mike's got an all-electric boat.
Yeah, they do have electric motors, or I think I just saw an electric motor somewhere. I don't know how well that would last in salt water.
Mike's the only guy. He's got an all-electric boat, but he asks us to chip in on fuel.
Yeah,
go fishing.
Sailboat.
All right, guys. Well, what else, Kumar?
Don't forget to follow us and like our stuff at Talkin Truckin on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Talkin Truckin, no G's.
TikTok, Facebook, MySpace, Zynga, and Spotify. Thanks, guys. It's been a great week, and episode 50. It's been a great year. This has been a lot of fun.
Well, there's still 2 more weeks.
And we got 2 more weeks, yeah. But I think we've crossed a year. We just haven't hit the episodes yet because we had a couple that
I think we started in April.
Yeah, we started in April.
And, well, tomorrow's April.
Yeah, but it was like 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks after. It was 2 or 3 weeks after the thing with Mandy, right?
Yeah, it was. And thanks to all our thanks to all our friends. Truckworks Kenworth of Dothan, Alabama, Over the Road Apparel, work clothes for the modern day trucker, Prime Wellness and Performance in San Antonio, Texas. And here in Barberton, Al's Quality Market, our buddy Denny,
our butt
place. Denny's looking forward to judging our fishing contest. Which, guys, we got to start thinking about that as soon as summer starts coming up. And be sure to comment, like, subscribe, follow us. And that's it. Go Browns.
Go Tar Heels.
Go Guardians. And go Cavaliers.